So this is on page, the last question of 6.6, page 533. And yesterday we practiced graphing with DABC. Now we've got the graph. Can you work backwards and get the D, the A, the B, and the C value? Could you easily see where the center line is? I think so. You kind of do the center line and the amplitude at the same time, because if you pick your center line, count to the maximum, it should be the same as counting to the minimum. If they're different, your center line is wrong. So here I put it at 1. I notice I can go up 5 to 6 or down 5 to -4. So then that tells me that the D value has to be 1 and the A value has to be 5. Now to calculate my B value, well, B value is related to the period, and if I go from minimum to minimum here, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 8 boxes, I'll say. 8 little squares to go from minimum to minimum. That doesn't mean the period is 8, because 1 square, or 1 box, is equal to pi over 12. So my period is 8 of those, or 8 pi over 12, which is 2 pi over 3. So if you're calculating the period, you could do something like this. You could see how far is it from minimum to minimum, or you could do, right, you could do center line going up to center line going up. Another thing that I've seen students do is they go, okay, it's from here to here, right? If I take that and just move it back to 0, then it lines up with 2 pi over 3 as a way to figure that out too. Can you see that as a strategy? But normally we just count and be like, okay, it's 8 boxes from here to here. 1 box is pi over 12. So my period is going to be 2 pi over 3. That doesn't mean my B value is 2 pi over 3. We have formulas that aren't on your formula sheet that say the following, that your B value is 2 pi over your period, and we have our period formula, which is 2 pi over our B value. So since I know the period, I could find, right, if I use this formula, I could say 2 pi divided by, and my period is 2 pi over 3. Well, how do we divide by a fraction? We multiply by the reciprocal, and very nicely the 2 pi's cancel out. So we get B is equal to 3. There's also sometimes a shortcut that you could do, which looks like this. This is my period formula. This is my period. This is where the B value goes. This is 2 pi over 3. I wonder what B could be. If the period is 2 pi over 3, and the formula for period is 2 pi over B, in this case, the B has to be 3. Now that only works if it's in the form 2 pi over something, right? But it can be a nice shortcut to figure that out as well. Either way, we have discovered that our B value is 3. Now this question says in terms of sign, but we're going to do more than that. We're going to look at a sine one, we're going to look at a cosine one, we're going to look at some more options. Because if you have a graph, there is actually an infinite amount of right answers that you could write down. Once you know the DAB part, you could fill it in. We know it's going to be 5. Sine, bracket, period. The B value is 3, bracket, 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 plus the D value as well. The only thing I don't know is the C value. And the C value is found, and I'm going to color code this. The C value is found by thinking, okay, where does a sine graph normally start? A sine graph normally starts in the middle going up. So do I have any places where it's in the middle going up? Yes, right there. That's 1, 2, 3 boxes to the right. So I could write that as minus 3 pi over 12. Could reduce that to pi over 4, but you don't have to. I could also make a cos graph. The dab part would stay the same. But a cos graph, it starts at a maximum. And that maximum is shifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to the right. So I could write minus 5 pi over 12. Could you see I could do another sine graph if I just move this starting point over to there? And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11 pi over 12 to the right. You could also, there we go. Start in the middle going down. And then you could write a negative sine graph. Or you could pick a minimum and do a negative cos graph. So there's lots of options. The A, the B, and the D value are always going to stay the same. Sometimes you put the negative in front if you choose to start at a minimum or in the middle going down. But what's going to change is your C value, and then you have lots of options. All right, questions for practice for this one? 4, 5, 6, and 7.